Here we go, man. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Here we go, finna try to discredit the Chiefs, man. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, it be so funny, man. It be so funny, bro. You know, I forgot to say my intro, man. What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man. A.K.A. Mr. Take It Easy before you end up like Beezy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch in the description down below. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. We got explaining the most fraudulent three-peat run in sports. You know, it be so funny how, you know what I'm saying, I told y'all, look, man, you know what I'm saying? What I always say, y'all, what I always say, telling the truth in this world gets you hated. You saying what people don't want to hear gets you hated for some odd reason. You would think that in the world, you will be respected for telling the truth. All I do is tell the truth, bro. We probably have different opinions about who's the top quarterback in the league or who's the best quarterback in history. Some of y'all feel like Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in history. I feel like it's Tom Brady. Not Tom Brady, but Pat Mahomes, who's the greatest quarterback in history. You see how it's an opinion? It's not a fact what I'm saying. It's not a fact what you saying. Some people think Pat Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in history. Some people think Tom Brady the greatest quarterback in history. Personally, for me, I cannot put a cheater number one on my list. Plain and simple. But guess what? I'm finna speak facts again. Here go the facts that I'm finna drop. He got caught cheating. It's proven facts. He is a cheater. He got caught cheating not one time, but 2 times. But then you have a problem with me saying that? Like what I'm saying, not facts. You see how I just said, I feel like Pat Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time. What's the difference between what I just said, Pat Mahomes being the greatest quarterback of all time? What is that? For all the smart people, what is that? Is that an opinion or is that a fact? I feel like I'm in school because I got to educate jackasses. That's an opinion. Me saying that he got caught cheating 2 times, that's a fact. But you still got people that's going to argue with me. Like when I say Lamar Jackson, you know what I'm saying? When I say Lamar, and they hate me, they do not like me speaking about Lamar Jackson. But why can I not speak on Lamar Jackson when you're comparing him to the people that I think that are greats? But guess what? When you say something about him, why are you always talking about Lamar? Why are you never talking about Josh Allen and Joe Burrow? Because they still perform in the playoffs. Even though they still lose to Pat Mahomes, even though they still lose, they still perform in the playoffs. But when I hit with a Lamar Jackson, like, you know what I'm saying? I love bringing up Lamar Jackson because you know what? Like I said, they say he's with the best, right? But when he gets to the playoffs, he don't perform like the best. But then I'm hating when I say that. It's not only Lamar Jackson's fault, but he part of the problem. Nigga, if you part of the problem, nigga, it's still your fault. It's not only his fault. I'm not saying that, my brother. I'm saying he's part of the problem. I'm saying in regular season, the man, one of the best quarterbacks I ever see in my life. And I keep bringing up Lamar Jackson because I can't stand players like that. That junk irks me to my soul. James Harden, I'll break him up too. That junk irks me. I cannot stand a player who does all that spectacular junk in the regular season. Then when you get to the postseason, you look like straight garbage. That junk pisses me off. Look like, well, I'm talking about, bro, you putting up all these amazing stats. All these record-breaking stats. MVPs and everything. Then you get to the freaking postseason and forget how to play. Not saying it's all his fault, but he's part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? You gonna make mistakes. People gonna make mistakes, but dang, if you're making more mistakes than you are doing good, that's a problem. And it's consistent with Lamar Jackson. It's consistent with him. Last year one is just the first year that, they try to blame it on Mark Andrews like Lamar Jackson didn't have that horrible first half last year. Like he didn't have a fumble. Like he didn't have a pick. Like that right there didn't affect how the game played out. You know what I'm saying? Even though Mark Andrews was a part of the problem, but guess who was part of the problem too? Lamar Jackson. Everybody trying to shift it from Lamar Jackson and put it on Mark Andrews. Like Lamar wasn't the problem in the first half. But sorry, I be having to bring him up, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he's getting compared to Pat Mahomes. He's getting compared to Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. And I be having to Matt Stafford. And I be having to, you know what I'm saying, explain the reason why I be on Lamar Jackson head so much. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, One thing about me, I am never a hater. I tell the truth and nothing but the truth. I just got a whole bunch of delusional followers who don't want to accept the truth. That's really what it is. A whole bunch of dumb niggas thinking just because they agree with each other that make them right. I don't care if the whole world think alike. I don't care if the whole world think alike. I know if I'm telling the truth, I'm telling the truth. I don't give a damn. I'm just in a dumb world. That's how I look at it. It's a whole bunch of dumb people. I'm the smart one, not you. How dare you? How dare you go against facts? How dare you? And you agree with each other. You agree with each other. You think you're smart, but you just a whole bunch of dumb people. We could be 56 of y'all agree with each other, and I could be the only one that could be by myself. You just 56 dumb people. That's all you is. But they think just because they think like that make them. Oh yeah, right. He's not speaking no facts. Whole bunch of 56 dummies. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man. Speaking on this Pat Mahomes situation, I'm a Giants fan. Forever will be that. You know what I'm saying? Give Pat Mahomes credit just because I don't hate on Pat Mahomes like y'all do. I'm a Chiefs fan. You know what I'm saying? It's hilarious. You feel me? But I give credit when it's due. You know, they love trying to say the refs be cheating for Pat Mahomes and them. I mean, at the end of the day, what you think they're going to do? Stop playing football? The refs make crazy calls all the time. How that's on Pat Mahomes? How you blaming Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs for what the refs doing? I thought everybody had one particular job. I thought their job is to play football and the ref's job is to referee. So why is all the heat coming on Pat Mahomes? Like he the one throwing the flags. What you expect him to do? Stop playing football? No, I do not agree with that call. No, that was not an offside. No. If you do not reverse, until you reverse that penalty, I will not play a hike up down again. But let that be your team, though. You ain't going to try to hear nothing. You hypocrites. You say this because stuff go in their favor, but let it be your team. You gonna be the same way the Chiefs fans talking. You gonna be talking the same dang way. You just hate because you on the other side of that stick. But let it be your team that the rest favoring though. You ain't gonna have no problem with it. People only care when it's not them. They only care when it's not them. When it's them, that's when they start. You know, I think I said that wrong. If it's them, they would not care. But if it ain't them, they care like a mug. Let it be the Eagles that the rest favoring. The Eagles fans won't give a dang. Let it be the Broncos. Let it be any other y'all team that the rest favor. You won't give a dang. You'll be talking just like the Chiefs fans talking. But just because it ain't y'all, then you got a problem with it.
People know the Chiefs in 2024 were the
like I said, for me, at the end of the day, refs do make questionable calls for sure. But at the end of the day, bro, I still see a good football team. If not one of the greatest football teams I've ever seen. You know what I mean? I'm a Giants fan, and I'm saying this. Not a Chiefs fan at all, even though my favorite quarterback of all time is on the team. But I feel like talking about fraudulent three-point run is just some hate and junk, in my opinion. Get them boys credit where it's due. You know what I mean? Just like the Smeagol's. I give the Smeagol's credit when it's due. They had an amazing defense with just a better team. Point blank, period. It had nothing to do with the refs not helping them. The refs let them boys play ball. You know what I mean? People just was not doing their job. O-line couldn't block. Wide receivers couldn't get open. Defense could not stop Jay Hurst and the Smeagol's offense. That's all it was, bro.
Closest team ever to three-peat after a Super Bowl run in
nothing fraudulent, bro, about the Chiefs, though, bro.
No team who has won 2 Super Bowls has ever even been back a 3rd time. But with that three-peat shut down, I just want to reflect on maybe the most fraudulent almost three-peat in the history of three-peat-shins. Now, if you think this is just going to be a salt-induced rage fest as I profanely think about our past 3 seasons, you're absolutely right. But to really begin to understand where my complaints coming from, we're gonna have to go all the way back to 2018. I mean, do you remember 18 and 19? Now, those Chiefs teams had aura. I mean, 2018, we're talking about the #1 offense in the NFL. 35 points a game. Mahomes' magic was taking over the league. Travis Kelce was a spicy white boy. Tyreek Hill was an unguardable deep threat. They played against the Rams on a random Monday night showdown, and it became an instant classic. They were all gas and no breaks. Did they play defense? Hell no. Was their special teams good? You bet your ass they were. They had character, and they were innovative and athletic and fun to watch. And that year, they lost to the Patriots in the playoffs in overtime without getting a chance to touch the ball, and guess what? They had so much aura, they didn't even change the rule. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Bills. And then next year, with largely the same team, they take it up a level. Yes, their offense took a bit more of a backseat to make sure their defense could do what needs to be done, but man, after their bye week, they didn't have a single one-score game all the way to the Super Bowl, where they knocked off in convincing fashion the 49ers.
Can't tell me Pat Mahomes ain't like it, though.
Their offense was right
it's
there
hard.
on top, looking as dominant as ever, and finishing the season 14-2 and got smacked in the Super Bowl. Yes, this is the inciting incident, I believe, to what I'm going to be talking about. But for the second time in many of these players' careers, they had just been ushered out of the postseason by Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And you could feel Mahomes putting his soul
Look, I'm just saying, when it comes to Mahomes, bro, and there's not no excuse for him, bro, Mahomes would have beat Brady. Like it's not about, see, people try to make it seem like first thing they're gonna say is Tom Brady beat Pat Mahomes 2 times. Tom Brady had a better team both times they played. It's not a 1v1 matchup, bro. It's a team sport. I cannot stand when you casuals try to do that. Oh, Tom Brady beat Pat Mahomes. No, Tom Brady ain't beat Pat Mahomes. The Patriots beat Pat Mahomes. The Patriots beat Kansas City Chiefs. It's not a 1v1 matchup, bro. Only way y'all be trying to do that. Tom Brady just had a better team. Even last year, they go try to make it seem like Pat Mahomes, it was Pat Mahomes' fault. I told y'all, the quarterback always gets the blame. But your O-line wasn't blocking at all. Wide receivers couldn't even get open. Wide receivers was on Clamp Island. O-line could not block a freaking fly. But Pat Mahomes gonna get all the heat. You don't hear nobody else talking. You don't hear nobody talking about nobody on the Chiefs team but Pat Mahomes. He the only one to get the blame, bro. And don't try to be like, oh, Lamar Jackson is... No way. No way. You know what I'm saying? Because despite, Kyrie can say, but bro, so you gonna blame Lamar Jackson? I can already tell. So look, we gonna go and nip that in the bud. You know what I'm saying? He is just be the problem. He just be the problem though. His O-line be blocking. His wide receivers get open. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have that problem that Pat had last year. He has targets. His O-line blocks. So he good right there. You know what I'm saying? I just had to go and say that because they, love trying to bring up Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, bro, last year just wasn't his fault at all. It wasn't, bro. You know what I'm saying? If anything, Pat Mahomes make a mediocre offense look amazing. Name one all-pro wide receiver they had in the Super Bowl last year. Name one. You can't. He make mediocre offense look good. Travis Kelce fell off. Ever since he got with Taylor Swift, that man has been bad blood. That man has been bad blood. He has been bad blood, bro. I don't know what happened to that man, TK, after he got with Taylor Swift. He has not been the same. Simple. You know what I'm saying? He was trash, too. So imagine, what is a quarterback supposed to do when your O-line isn't blocking and when your wide receivers isn't getting open? If you watch the whole game, you'll literally see. The man got sacked dang near 6 times? What he supposed to do? It's not a 1v1 sport, bro. Football is a team sport. Everybody, and the thing is, bro, the casuals be making it seem like it's a bad thing to have good teammates. Well, bro, he got this. Well, bro, he got that. Is that what you supposed to have in football? Like, is that what you supposed to have? Bro, he had him. Bro, he had him. Okay. We can say that about Jalen. Oh, Jalen Hurts as an all-pro O-line, but Jalen Hurts still doing his job, though. Everybody just doing their jobs, but that's what haters do, though. Haters try to find anything to demean somebody, bro. He won't be doing this if you want for the all-pro O-line. Bro, shut the freak up, but he has an all-pro O-line, so none of that matters. He won't be doing this if you want for A.J. Brown and Schmitty. He has A.J. Brown and Schmitty, though, so none of that matters, bro. It can go both ways. I promise you, bro, they won't be doing it without Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts won't be doing it without them. That all-pro line, you know what I'm saying? It won't be so easy, bro, not having a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, and it won't be so easy to be in the pocket if you have an all-pro line, bro. It goes both ways, bro. Everybody helps each other. That's how it's supposed to be in football. Team is a team sport, not a me sport, bro. Nigga, you could just tell somebody who never played a down of football in their life, bro. Everybody supposed to do their job. That's what makes a good football team, jackass.
Line this game. Yes, the Chiefs
Tampa Bay Buccaneers was just better. Look!
So you knew that their offense was gonna have some struggles, but for the 28 minutes and 37 seconds that the Chiefs had the ball on offense, Patty Mahomes was just
this was like the Eagles. This was like the Smeagol's last year.
The Buccaneers also got a couple cool drive extending penalties, and everybody rolled their eyes because it's Tom Brady. And well, let's just say he has his own history with dubious calls and winning close games in interesting and sometimes controversial ways. But this embarrassing loss seemed to knock the Chiefs down a peg, as in 2021 they came out with none of the gumption from before. The last 3 years they had started off their first 4 weeks a collective 12-0, as a hot start was something that we just attributed to the Chiefs. But now they were sluggish. They lost to the Ravens, who, hey, it's Ravens is a good team, but then immediately choked away a game to the Chargers before beating the Eagles and getting stomped by the Buffalo Bills, and 2 weeks after laying an absolute egg against the Titans as they only put up 3 points, as many people started to wonder, was the Chiefs' window closed? And then the turnaround happened. A bad punt by the Giants set up the Chiefs with a chance to take the game into their own hands.
Look, and this the thing, bro, I be trying to tell people about my Giants, bro. And if you really watch us, bro, y'all will understand. We've always had a tough schedule, bro. This is not new to us having a tough schedule. We are really a good team with a bad quarterback, bro. If y'all watch the Giants, bro, and it's nothing to do with the Giants, but if you watched us, bro, you will see that we barely lose games. Most of our games are 1 TD. Bro, we got blew out like, I think we got blew out 4 times this year. 4 times this year. Out of 18 games. Other than them 4 games that we played, bro, it don't matter who you, the Steelers, whoever, the Commanders, only beat us by a touchdown or a field goal. Literally. Literally. And that was with the worst quarterback in the league, Daniel Jones. That's what I be trying to tell people. We were stuck with Daniel Jones for dang near a decade. 6 seasons, going on 7 seasons. Bro, this man we've been stuck with this man forever. Then before him, we had a trash quarterback. The only good quarterback we had in dang near 15 years was Eli Manning. That's the best quarterback we've had in like 15 years, bro. The Giants really never had a top tier quarterback ever other than Eli Manning, bro. That's what I be trying to get people to understand. This year is the first year that we actually have a top 15 quarterback, Russell Wilson. Man.
Set up a chip shot field
trying to tell y'all, bro. You're going to see this year how different we look. Watch how different we look this year. But people still ain't going to listen. Oh, bro, the Giants suck. All right, bro. You're going to see.
And the following week, the Packers special teams melted with a missed field goal, blocked field goal, muff punt, all to take points.
Better than a lot of teams, bro.
Donate them to the Chiefs.
Just got the worst quarterback. Can't do that.
13, they would have a couple normal wins against lesser opponents like the Raiders before they would have to take the Chargers to overtime. And okay, the final play is just incredibly Chargery. But it wasn't until a few weeks later that our Lord and Savior Joe Burrow brought them back down to earth, holding onto the ball for a 6-minute drive to kick the game-ending field goal and break the Chiefs' soon-to-be way too annoying trope of just stumbling into wins. And this wouldn't be the last time that they would do this. After the Chiefs snuck into the playoffs, requiring the Broncos to give up a 91-yard fumble 6 when they had the lead, where in the playoffs they would handily beat the Steelers before giving us one of the most exciting final 5 minutes of a playoff game, where they would win the coin flip to eventually knock off Josh Allen and the Bills, who would later get the rule change due to their lack of aura. But finally, in the following week, the Bengals would once again take them to overtime just for Mahomes to throw it away in the second play of said overtime and have the Chiefs' luck run out for that year. So now, I know that was a long-winded backstory, but at this point, I hope I have somewhat encapsulated the Chiefs' fall from the lovable young guns to a more balanced team that has now been to 2 Super Bowls and won 1, and is slowly losing their lusters in the eyes of the football population as they have stolen more than their fair share of wins. But that being said, let's start the true reign of terror, 2022. Now, on first glance of the schedule, 2022 looked like a pretty standard year. I mean, they smacked the Cardinals, beat the Chargers by 3, had a heartbreaker to the Colts where they lost off the back of a missed 34-yarder and a failed fake field goal, and beat the Raiders on one of the most dubious calls I've ever seen that also had the wide receiver's feet getting tangled up. And then after Mahomes threw away the game the following week, they did the Chiefs thing where they just won out. But the general vibe around the league was just different. They were beating teams, yeah, but the explosiveness of a few years back wasn't there. The tricky play calling wasn't there. They were part of 10 one-score games this year and won 7 of them, compared to their 2018 run where they were part of 9 and won 5. And their game plan was more about keeping it close and having the ball at the end rather than dominating teams, and sometimes requiring just a little bit more luck than many felt comfortable with. Like, take their win against the Texans. They do nothing on their overtime.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Texans gave the Chiefs a run their money. Bro, I dead for real thought last year, bro. The Texans has a good squad, bro. I thought the Texans dead for real was gonna beat the Chiefs, bro. I ain't gonna count. That was a good game last year.
Punt it to the Texans, where on the first play, Davis Mills just decides to run with the ball out in front of his body, thinking he's Lamar Jackson, and the defense just smacks it out of his hands. But none of that was bad compared to what happened when they made it to the playoffs. 5 minutes left against the Jaguars. Looks like they're about to bring it into a one-score game as they drive down the field until Agnew secures the catch at the 3, turns and simply drops the ball without it being touched by anybody else, and their following attempt to recover has Jalen Watson making the interception of his career on a one-handed grab. Against the Bengals, they get out to a 10-point lead in the second quarter before Burrow and crew lead this gutsy 90-yard field goal drive where, in the second half, despite a pair of touchdowns, they seem to be deadlocked with 41 seconds left in the game, and it looked like it was about to go to overtime before their punter lined up.
I'll say the Bengals always give the Chiefs a run for their money, bro. That's what I be saying. People be speaking on the Bengals and whatnot, bro. The Bengals is a good team. They just have a bad defense. You know what I mean? The Bengals remind me of the Giants, bro. You know what I mean? Good offense, bad defense. Bad offense, good defense. You know what I'm saying?
Punt of his career, piped it low.
A good team getting held back because of a few pieces,
which was also
missing from the team.
A pretty frustrating, unnecessary roughness penalty that drove the dagger in to ensure that this game would never see overtime, as it's 2 essentially out of the Chiefs' control things that were just handed to them this game with a poor punt and a dumb penalty. And if you think the Super Bowl would go differently, oh my goodness, were you wrong. The Chiefs' offense outside of the first drive looked dead in the water, as half of their points in the first half were off of, I promise you're not going to believe this, Jalen Hurts making a cut, and once again without anybody touching him, he just drops the ball and then kicks it right to a Chiefs player who picks it up and walks it in for a touchdown, completely uncontested, I know. And then the Eagles on their next drive score again, force another punt, and we're in the middle of another successful drive when they had to settle for a field goal due to the time constraints, but that's fine because in the second half it went Chiefs touchdown, good long field goal drive, then the Chiefs drive for another touchdown to take the lead, but the Eagles are forced to punt, and here's where we get the disaster. So this ball is supposed to be on the left side of the field when all is said and done, and we can tell this because both gunners have a left side release, but that ball ends up not on the left side of the field, not in the middle of the field, but outside the right hash, which is just about as bad as you could have it go, where they get punished with an untimely 65-yard return, setting the Chiefs up for their second easy score of the night. And then of course, like the Bengals game, when the Eagles tie it up, a ticky-tack defensive holding call with 2 minutes left in the game ensures that the Eagles are never going to get meaningful time with the ball in their hands again, as Butker knocks through the game-winning 27-yard field goal. And I know Chiefs fans are going to be blisteringly mad at how I describe the game, but the reality is that most of America remembers the game this way. 2 lucky breaks by the Chiefs to make...
I mean, that's football, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, that's football. Can't blame the Chiefs because Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball. That's football, bro. They're just going to play the game. That's how it works. Mistakes happens, bro. Guess what? The other team is going to capitalize on mistakes. You can't be like, oh, they would have won if it wasn't for this. That's their fault, bro. Their fault. His fault for fumbling the ball. His fault. That's that goofy out boy fault for fumbling the ball, bro. What you think the Chiefs not going to do? You think they just going to stop playing football, bro? All that coulda, woulda, and all that if and all that, that doesn't matter. It happened and happened is what it is, bro.
Difference between how
that was a fair play game, bro. You know what I'm saying? That even the flag with Bradbury, that was a fair flag in my opinion, bro. You know what I'm saying?
the Eagles were playing and how well the Chiefs were playing. And at the end of the game, the refs stuck their hand in the pot to make sure the Eagles wouldn't even get a chance to redeem themselves.
I thought that was a flag, Bradbury.
Or not, I think without fail, this is when the public perception of the Chiefs was fully flipped. And 2023 would be another public perception slaughtering. All the glitz and glam that made the Chiefs fun to watch in the late teens and early 20s was completely gone. Their offense was the worst it had been for years. Their luck was swinging back, it appears, on one-score games, as they only won 6 of the 11 one-score games they had this year. And while in the regular season, they didn't have the same notion that they were getting exceptionally lucky, it's just that nobody thought that they were good. I mean, yeah, they started off 7-2 against easily their weaker half of the schedule, but luck was still definitely there. Like against the Jets, Zach Wilson on his final drive just dropped the snap.
Whose fault is that, bro? You acting like that's supposed to be their fault, though, gang. That's all I'm saying. And you saying that the Chiefs is not a good team. Come on, gang. Let's be real, bro. Just like I'll say the Ravens is a good team, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even I'll say, like I say, even when it comes to the ops, I'll say the Smeagol's a good team. I genuinely don't feel like the Cowgirls and the Commanders a good team, but I'm not finna hate on the Smeagol's because they the ops. They the ops for sure. You know what I'm saying? F the ops for sure. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna say they ain't a good team. They an amazing team, bro. You know what I'm saying? Got everything, every piece, defensive line. Even though I feel like our defense is better than theirs, I'm gonna just keep it real. I just feel like they have a way better offense, bro. So their offense make their defense look 10 times better, in my opinion, bro. But they have a heck of a defense, bro. So to say the Chiefs not a good team, bro, that is blasphemy, bro.
This is like, what, the third contactless fumble given to the Chiefs?
Whose fault is that?
Don't worry, there's going to be more.
Whose fault is that? And don't be trying to say no rigged or nothing either. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to say rigged or nothing either, bro. Don't try to say that.
He has no calls at the end of the game against the Viking. On Tua's final play, he also had a no-contact fumble on the snap.
It happens,
bro. One-score games, it just seemed like that if an opposing team could afford to not just hand the win to the Chiefs, they probably would win themselves. And despite them, after the bye week going a paltry 4-4, the rest of their division was doing equally as bad, getting them to a wild card round in the playoffs where many, myself included, assumed they'd be in and out of this thing. That was until the Dolphins had to play in the cold weather and, well, couldn't. The Bills had a chance to tie it up with 1 minute and 47 seconds left and missed a field goal, and Lamar Jackson and crew drove for 137 yards on 2 drives in the second half and came up with 0 points when they could have easily had 2 touchdowns thanks to, okay, admittedly a really damn good defensive play punching the ball out of Flowers' hands, but later in what was easily a dumb pass into triple coverage.
See? Like, who throws this? Look, bro, this is 2nd and 8, bro. 2nd and 8, bro. No, not that right there.
Flowers' hands, but later in what was
look, this is 2nd and 10, bro. This is 6 minutes and 50 seconds. This is what I be talking about when it comes to this nigga. 2nd and 10. It's no need to even throw that. Look what he throws, bro.
A dumb pass into
he don't do that in the regular season. You know why he don't do that in the regular season? Because the pressure is not high in the regular season. He know that he can mess up and lose a game and it won't cost him. He know he can lose like, dang, there's 7 games. But you could be 9 and 8, bro, going into the wild card, bro. You could be a 9 and 8 team and make it to the playoffs, bro. You don't have to win. You don't have to have a pitch perfect record and make it to the playoffs. He knows that. That's why he go crazy, because you know why? The pressure isn't on him in the regular season, so he can just do whatever freak we want. You know what I'm saying? He played comfortable because the pressure, bro. That's why he plays different, because that pressure is different. All eyes on him for real. This is where it truly matters. So I can't F up like I can in the regular season. I got to really be that guy. And every time the moment presents itself when it comes to this man, he folds, bro. Every time, bro. Every time. I thought last year was going to be different, bro. If you cannot win with the team that you have this year, you are not a great quarterback, bro. You are a good quarterback. Give Joe Burrow that team that you have right now. Give Josh Allen that team that you have right now. Joe Burrow went with a lesser talented team than you, my brother. Or you have Jair Alexander. You have Marlon Humphrey. You have Cal Hamilton, bro. You have Malachi Starks. You have Roquan Smith. You have all these studs on defense to help you. And not even defense, including offense. You have an MVP running back, Derrick Henry, who had an MVP season last year. You have an amazing O-line. You have Isaiah Likely. You have Mark Andrews. You have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Rashad Bateman, who y'all just re-signed. And you freaking have DeAndre Hopkins, bro. DeAndre Hopkins, I just said his name, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Derrick Henry, and a good O-line, and even yourself, Lamar Jackson. Nigga, how much help do you need, nigga? Literally, you're set up to win. If you don't win this year, bro, you're just not a great quarterback. You're a good quarterback. There's a difference between great quarterbacks and good quarterbacks, my brother, and you are a good one, not a great one.
To play, punching the ball.
Give Joe Burrow that team, I bet he make it to the Super Bowl. Give Josh Allen that team, I bet he make it to the Super Bowl. If you cannot win with this team, my brother, you're just not going to win. This year is a hit or miss for you, Lamar Jackson. You will not have Jair Alexander next year. You know what I'm saying? You will not have Mark Andrews or somebody next year. You don't even have the money to keep half of them players that you have. If you can't win this year, my brother, it's over, brother. It's over. It's simple. This is best your team going to get. Your team was better than Joe Flacco's, and he won a ring. So why can't you win a ring the all great Lamar Jackson. How they trying to make it seem like you are. You're better than Joe Flacco, right? You are the almighty Lamar Jackson, right? So if you can't win with this team, how great are you, Lamar? Because Joe Flacco won with a lesser talented team than you, for surely. And he didn't have a better defense. You can say Ed Reed, you can say Suggs, you can say Ray Lewis. I'm talking about as an all-around defense. Joe Flacco's team was nowhere near better, especially his offense. Nigga, don't try to bring up no Rice. Don't try to bring up none of that. His offense was nowhere near as good as Lamar Jackson's offense this season. Or his defense was nowhere near better as Lamar Jackson's defense this season. Simple. If you say it is, you a delusional casual, nigga. If Lamar Jackson loses this year, don't compare him to nothing. Don't compare him to no. Just don't.
Later, in what was easily a dumb pass
in
triple coverage, Isaiah Likely was getting absolutely bodied while that ball was still in the air.
But he won't catch that anyway, bro.
It wasn't called. But the most annoying part, once again, being that the Chiefs just never drove the dagger in. They never did anything with the gaggle of mistakes that were being made by the Ravens, as it once again felt like they were just falling into a win. This time, a win that brought them into the Super Bowl, where once again their offense would be completely flat.
This was the greatest. I ain't gonna lie, this is one of the greatest Super Bowls I've ever watched, though. You can't say nothing about the refs cheating on this one, bro. The refs didn't throw no flags. I rarely seen a flag. If a flag was thrown, bro, it probably was 2 flags, bro. They literally outplayed the 49ers, bro. Literally, I watched the whole Super Bowl. So don't try to say flags and fumbles and all that. They lost fair and square, bro, in the Super Bowl.
Final seconds of the first half already down by 10, and without that,
like everybody lost fair and square.
Harrison Butker being able to drill a 57-yarder to bring them within 4, the Chiefs' only touchdown of the night came off of, you guessed it, a completely out of their control fluke. On an errant punt that came down short, the ball bounced off the foot of a Niners return unit player, giving them the ball on the 16, where they converted that into a touchdown. This, though, would cause the 49ers to lock in, lead a long drive, hold the Chiefs to a field goal, get a field goal of their own. Before
I still don't understand how this is fraudulent, though. I don't understand I don't understand the title, the most fraudulent 3. I don't understand how it's fraudulent because other teams made mistakes. That's fraudulent. You know what I mean? So basically, we can say the Smeagol Super Bowl win is fraudulent too because the Kansas City Chiefs made a lot of mistakes too. So you know what I'm saying? So it's fraudulent because the other teams made mistakes. That's basically what I'm hearing. Because the other teams made fumbles and it's fraud. That's basically what I'm hearing. I don't know.
In the red zone with 3 seconds left to force this game.
So the other teams make mistakes. They just supposed to stop playing football.
It's just the general Chiefs shenanigans. They did have a great final drive, but it's what got them the chance to have a final drive that's such a frustrating part. As in back-to-back Super Bowls, they had been handed sub 20.
How was that handed, bro? That's the other team's fault. The other team don't make the mistakes. They win. So basically what you're saying is fraudulent because the other team make mistakes? Okay. Free? Whose fault is that? You making it seem like the Chiefs literally just like, it's their fault. Whose fault is that, bro? It sounds like a 49ers problem and it sounds like a Smeagol's problem, bro. You think, well, they made a mistake, dude. They made a mistake. They fumbled the ball, bro. Keep it. You fumble the ball, man. You know, fumble the ball. The punt. Yeah, I don't want to win this way. I just don't.
Touchdown opportunities off of essentially flukes. But as tired as people got
mistakes
from this, as low as the public perception of the Chiefs were at this point, would you believe it could go lower? Let me take you to 2024. Now, if you've been on my channel,
oh my God, that was out of bounds. Oh my God, bro, that was out of bounds. His foot touched the white. Your foot can't touch the white, bro. Foot touched the white, please. Oh my God. Everybody know this was out of bounds. That was a flag, bro. Not flag, but that wasn't a touchdown, bro. His foot was out of bounds, bro. Watch the game, bro.
To 2024. Now, if you've been on my
can't touch the white. You know your foot can't touch the white at all. You know that, right? Your foot can't touch the white at all. That boy foot touched the white clearly. Out of bounds, nigga.
Well, you know what I'm about to talk about in 24. Easily the luckiest Chiefs year that has ever happened. They went from 10 one-score games in 22 to 11 in 23 to 12 in 24. The difference is they won 7 of 10 in 2022, which is a little bit lucky.
I just don't like haters, y'all. I'm sorry. That's just me, bro.
Which is pretty average, to winning 12 of 12 games in 2020.
It's a difference between speaking facts and hating, bro. That's just in my opinion, bro. There's a difference between speaking. Like, this is not facts at all, bro. You just blatantly just hating in my opinion.
Includes BS like a Ravens player
like your foot isn't on the line, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, your foot touches anything in that white, bro, that's out of bounds, bro. Simple. So that boy foot isn't on the white. Your foot's on the white line, gang. How are you blind? Your foot has to stay on the green. Anything outside the green is freaking out of bounds, bro. How do you not know this? This is clear as day that this man, your pinky toe cannot touch the freaking white line, nigga. Your pinky toe. So I don't understand this. This man's foot is clearly on the white line. Why are we even like, your foot cannot touch the white line, ladies and gentlemen. Your foot has to stay in the green. Simple as that. If your foot touch, even an inch of your foot touches the white line, it's out of bounds.
Size being a little bit too large, a dubious pass interference call, a Falcons choke.
That's not a foul. That's not a pass interference.
A little bit too large, a dubious pass.
So that's not a pass interference shot. I don't understand. I don't get it, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not gonna act like the Chiefs don't get no calls, but bro, act like these not calls, right calls, but just because you hate the Chiefs so much, they not supposed to get any flags. Dang. It's to a point in time when it came to the Chiefs, they get one flag, but niggas start tripping out. Chiefs was so good, boy, they couldn't get flags no more. But they're going to be like, I'm an undercover Chiefs fan. Just because I speak the truth and I don't hate like you weirdos. Now, say if the Smeagol start going to run, now y'all finna hate the Smeagol's. Y'all hate everybody who's great, bro. That's just how the world is, bro. When it comes to the greatest, y'all just hate. Any team that's doing good, y'all, same thing for the Patriots. Y'all hated on the Patriots. Even though they get caught cheating 2 times. But other than that, bro, his other 5 rings was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how people is. If you're great, they just going to hate you. I don't know, bro. They're going to find anything to hate on you about. Anything, y'all. Anything.
Interference call, a Falcons choke session in the red zone. The Chargers, Buccaneers can't come up with this pick and lose the coin flip in overtime. Denver gets their game-winning chip shot field goal blocked, and then when allowing the Panthers to get back in the game, the Chiefs doink through the field goal. Editing Isaac here. Obviously, they doink through the field goal against the Chargers. I was doing this part off of memory. I thought they did it against the Panthers. It was the wrong blue team. Then the Raiders have the Chiefs' 4th contactless fumble to lose the game that we've made in this video. The Chargers again, and then they actually finish out the season a little bit stronger, but with everybody thinking, man, this might be the worst 15-1 team to ever play the game. But then we got to the postseason, and gosh dang it,
that was a good game.
Happening. Fans were exacerbated as they just watched the Texans crumple under the weight of having to play against the Chiefs, and they looked nothing like the team coming into the playoffs.
Got dominated, bro. Your Texans got dominated. You had so many chances to beat the Chiefs, bro. Your O-line could not block. Your O-line could not stop a fly, bro. Your O-line was getting dominated, bro. You know, George was back there every time, bro. Back there every time. You could not stop him. Your D-line was smushing on y'all, bro.
Team that had just played the Chargers the week before. Then they went on to play the Bills, and with mouth agape, we watched this team that we had been calling frauds all season as they were actually playing maybe the best game of their entire year. I mean, their offense was moving the ball against what we had presumed to be a good defense.
This was a good game too.
Key stops, despite some dubious calls by refs on incompletion and spots on 4th down. And many people, myself included, began to wonder that maybe I had just gaslit myself into believing that they were bad. Was it really all in my own head making up their luck? And then the Super Bowl happened, and it was like 3 years of good luck finally caught up to them.
It wasn't, I mean, you got to understand that, but their O-line just was, I don't know, their O-line was just got dismantled. Like, I don't know, like, everybody looked lost. Like, Pat couldn't do nothing, bro. Like, their O-line got dismantled. Literally, I'm going to keep it real. They got outplayed, bro, but it's not on Pat, bro. You know what I mean? I just feel like the Smeagol's was just a better team. I'm going to just keep it G. That's just real. Like, I watched the Super Bowl, bro. The Smeagol was just a better team. Simple as that. It was just a better team. I'm talking about all across the board. We can talk about offense, everything, all across the board. And Jalen Hurts did outplay Pat Mahomes because everybody was doing their job. I don't feel like Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Pat Mahomes for sure, no. But his O-line was blocking. His wide receivers was getting open. You know what I'm saying? Pat Mahomes' team wasn't doing his job. Jalen Hurts' team was. And the Smeagol's were a better team. No cap.
Pendulum finally swung back the other
direction.
And the Eagles, for 4 quarters, were putting foot to rest. I mean, I don't think I've seen such a performance since the Cam Newton jump away. And don't get me wrong, I do think the Eagles are a good team. I just think the Chiefs also, for once in the Super Bowl, didn't get bailed out by anything for an
Look, y'all see that? Y'all see that?
Also, for once in the Super Bowl, didn't get bailed out.
Look, y'all. Look at this wide receiver clamped up.
Anything for an entire
game. That was the best defense I've ever seen.
No key special teams mistakes, no dropped interceptions. It was like setting the record straight for the last 2 Super Bowls, which just leaves me wondering, who are the Chiefs actually? I mean, get this. They've won 3 of 5 Super Bowls they've been in, but have a point differential in Super Bowls of -23 points. And their historic almost three-peat is highlighted by the oopsiest of oopsie fumbles and plays that they had no part in. I mean, a shanked punt, yeah, they capitalized on it, but who wouldn't? And an errant punt that just happened to bounce off an opposing team's foot to keep them in the game, where the Niners, mind you, scored every single possession after that. So if we assume all else is constant, the Chiefs are playing from behind all game, and this has a chance of being over at the whistle in the Niners' favor.
So
yeah, of the almost 3 peats we've seen or will ever see, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find a more fraudulent one than this.
Not fraudulent, man. It's just a team capitalizing on other team mistakes. Like, even when it comes to my boy Quan, I call that fraudulent. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was in the dynasty, you know what I'm saying? I was beating Quan 14-0. I was making mistakes. Quan was just capitalizing off my mistakes. Can't say it was fraudulent. He was just capitalizing off the mistakes. I do the same thing that Quan was doing. Quan getting the interception. Quan capitalizing off my mistakes. You can't blame nobody but yourself, my boy. You can't blame the Chiefs, bro, because of what happened. That you fumbled the ball because of that punt mistake. That's your fault, my brother. Any team won't capitalize off the mistakes. Let that would have happened to the Chiefs. The Smeagol's would have capitalized off their mistakes. Let that would have happened to the Chiefs. The 49ers would have capitalized on mistakes. It's football, brother. Just because it happened, now don't mean it's fraudulent. But the Smeagol's was definitely a better team in the Super Bowl. I'll give them that for sure.